What is up, my wonderful little lovelies? Welcome to season 4, episode 1 of the Bodhiverse. For those of you guys that have followed me for a long time, well, you know, at least 3 years, the Bodhiverse has been something I've put out a little bit here and there, but I've decided to change the format. Whereas in the past, it's all been me sitting here with somebody and we're talking, we're hanging out, and we're chatting. I have found out that sometimes y'all just need questions answered. I know, right? I know. So this weekend, I put out a little video asking about, hey, what can I help you with? Now, I don't know everything. So there's going to be some things where, you know, I don't know. But there's some really great questions on this post, and we're going to answer some in this episode. Okay? This first one, y'all, right off the bat, hit me with some shit. You doing some shit. You're doing some shit. You ready? You ready for this question? Miss Nancy asks, is there a way to make someone dream about you or about something? Now, it's not what you think, okay? Hold on. Because I know when I first read that first part of the question, I was like, you sure you want that? But listen to this, because Nancy's doing some shit. Say, for example, telling me they're moving out finally. Oh, baby. We're talking about Inception at its finest here. Yes, 100%. There are a lot of things that you can do, Miss Nancy. So first of all, let's talk about certain crystals that you can place around the house. Amethyst is one. Sweet, innocent little amethyst that, you know, it's just everywhere. Nobody thinks anything about it. You can find it at fucking Home Goods at this point. You can just grab whatever. Amethyst is fantastic for dream work, specifically dream amethyst. So dream amethyst is this one with this gorgeous, these little pockets of color. Well, not color, but you know what I'm saying. Little pockets of white and purple. Dream amethyst is fantastic. Amethyst itself is fantastic for dream work. So if you're trying to incept somebody to, you know, do something, like get the fuck out your house, you want to start by placing amethyst everywhere. Okay? The next thing you want to do is this. Be cleansing your space continually, especially when they are not at home. Okay? Yerba Santa is 100% going to be your friend. And here's why. Yerba Santa is like a nuke. Okay? It is down to the rafters, down to the foundation, cleansing every fucking thing. Okay? Now, before you Yerba Santa any place, before you smudge it with Yerba Santa, you want to make sure that you kind of preemptively apologize to the good things there. Just say, hey, look, like, I'm going to ask you to leave for just a minute because I want to clear somebody's negative, stupid bullshit out. And then I will invite you back in, okay? So clear your space just like you would with any bundle. Start at the front door, go counterclockwise because you're clearing something out. Act like you're painting the floor. We can do a whole other video on that some other time. But act like you're painting the floor. Do not open the windows. I love when people are like, you're supposed to open the windows. No, you're not. No, you're not. Quit telling people to open the fucking windows because just don't. When you open the windows, here's exactly what you do. You kick something out one window, and as soon as you exit the room, it comes right the fuck back in. Stop opening the fucking windows. Be smart. This is why you have to cleanse your houses repeatedly, because you keep opening shit. Stop it. But do open every single door, every single cabinet, like you're looking for little gnomes, little fairies, okay? Everything that something could hide in, open it up. Anyway, I digress. I'll get off that horse. Anyway, you're welcome. So, cleanse your space repeatedly. The other thing that you want to do is this. Start working with your own meditations. Now, it's not really nice to go into someone else's dreams without permission. This is called dream walking when you are in someone else's dreams. Some people that have this innate talent, they do it without realizing that they do it. Like as a kid, you were in your friend's dreams, y'all were doing all kinds of fun stuff. But when you get to be older, there's a little bit of a code of ethics there. Like you wouldn't want somebody just coming into your shit and doing stuff, saying stuff, etc. So you see what I'm saying? Like it's a slippery slope. So just maybe don't do that. But you can be playing some frequencies in the house, especially while you sleep. If the two of you sleep in the same house to where the sounds can travel, because frequencies, even if you can't hear them in the other room, you're going to hear them. Does that make sense? Because a frequency is a fucking frequency. While it might soften a little bit as it hits brick, as it hits walls, as it hits steel, etc., it's still going to hit. So, frequencies for change, frequencies for movement, frequencies for transparency, for truth, etc. The solfeggio frequencies are fantastic. That's SOLFEGGIO. Those are fantastic. You can play those throughout the night. You can play them throughout the day, and anywhere you can find them. They're set to great music. YouTube has some phenomenal playlists of solfeggio frequencies. But 963 is also going to be a good one, and here's why. 963 opens up the third eye. It helps you, well, the third eye and the crown. It helps you to see where you need to go, where you need to make changes, etc. Now, don't be surprised if you yourself start making some changes, like my hair is fixing to get some changes made to it, but don't be surprised if you yourself start making some changes. However, if that doesn't work, I mean, you can flat tell them that they need to move out. You can flat tell them that they need to move out. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Maybe put a bunch of hints. Having a broom upside down also helps. Not upside down, but you know what I mean? Like the broom on the bottom, sweeping shit. Whenever they're sitting around you, be sweeping, vacuuming, you know. Like, I'm just saying what I'm saying. The other one is this. Eclectic Me says, what does it mean to have reoccurring dreams over a few years span? Okay, so this is a loaded question, and to be honest, if you're having a reoccurring dream, I would highly recommend making an appointment with someone that is very well versed in dream work and dream interpretation, because this speaks of something that is going on over and over that is not being solved in your waking life, your spiritual life, etc. So first, that's what I would say. You need to make an appointment with someone very well versed in dream work. The next thing is this. Here's why. Because it all depends on what this dream is. You know, is it a situation? Is it a person? Is it an event? Do you see what I'm saying? It all depends on that. So that's kind of a hard question to answer without knowing the context of all the things. All of these are great. Like, I go through and I'm like, wow. This is the next one I wanna answer because it's one that I get asked all the time. This is from Mystic Ma. My question is, I love my Moldavite necklace. Myrtle. It's changed my life. Myrtle. But can one wear it too much? Can one wear it too much? Yes, you can. Yes, you 100% can. And let me tell you why. Moldavite is a fantastic stone of change, of transformation. And I know that you're going to hear people, why my bangs are in my face suddenly, I don't know. I know that you're going to hear people all over social media that are like, it's not. And Moldavite doesn't. Yes, it does. If you look up the spiritual meaning of Moldavite, that's the first thing that comes up. Transformation. That is change. That is change. You cannot have transformation without change. My very first piece of Moldavite was this wonderful little ring right here. I got it 2020, Christmas of 2020. Okay. Within a few months, my whole life completely turned upside down, but in a fantastic way. At the time, I wasn't sure it was fantastic, but it was 100% fantastic. Set me on a trajectory. Then I was like, you know what? I felt like it wasn't working as much as it had been. Right? Right? I mean, that's a pretty good little piece of Moldavite, right? But I felt like it wasn't working like it had been. So, got me a pendant. Not this one, but I got a pendant, okay? About this size right here. Wore it for a while. Slept in it for a while. A whole bunch of changes. Crazy, awesome, amazing fucking changes. And then I felt like it stopped working too. So I just completely was like, you know what? I'm not going to wear it for a while. I'm just not. Like, I'm done with it. Maybe it's ran its course and I'm just not going to do it. So the next thing I know, I find myself in New Orleans and I'm at one of my favorite crystal shops and I'm in there actually looking for a gift for somebody. And so I'm looking at pendants, I'm looking at bracelets and so on, and there's a pile of Moldavite bracelets. And when I mean a pile, I mean like that tall pile of Moldavite bracelets. The really cool crystals, not crystals, the really cool silver, you know, where there's all, anyway, the ones you drool over. So I was like, oh my God, those are gorgeous. She's like, do you want to see some? And I'm like, of course I do, duh. So she pulls the stack out, and underneath is this gorgeous bracelet that's not just Moldavite. So I'm like, what is that? Pray tell. And so, of course, she pulls it out, and it's a lot of Moldavite and other tektites. And I made the mistake of trying it on. And then I walked around the quarter buzzy for about 2 hours. But even that stopped working after a while, and I had to take it off. For some people, it works in the opposite way. If you are really, really resistant to the change and the transformation that Moldavite is going to bring into your life, then you are going to feel overwhelmed with it. Before you ever get a piece of Moldavite, I don't care if it's a sliver, if it's a, you know, a needle-sized piece. Before you ever get a piece of Moldavite, make sure you're ready for it. I got a piece of Moldavite before this ring. I had it for 1 day. 1 day. It was about half the size of the piece in that ring, and it fucked right off. It wasn't for me. Wasn't for me. Of course, I look back now and I'm like, because I wasn't ready for that change. I wasn't. I was not in a place where I was ready for that change. When I got that ring, I was. So before you ever think about getting Moldavite, make sure you're ready for that change and transformation that's fixing to happen in your life, because it is going to turn your whole life up the fuck side down. And it's going to seem horrible at first, and then you're going to realize it's fantastic. It can be overwhelming. So make sure you are 100% ready for it. Now, on the flip side, if you're ready for it and you get some and you start wearing it, carrying it with you, etc., it can wear off after a little bit. It can wear off. This piece right here that I'm wearing, I actually got in Tucson this last January. I actually bought it for the shop, but it's got this weird curl on it, and I got obsessed with playing with it. See the curl? I got obsessed with playing with it, right? And I realized, like, okay, I didn't buy it for the shop. It's mine. Like, it's mine. So the pendant that I had on here, I took off, and it has fucked off somewhere in my house. I can't find it either. Can't find it, but it's just not there. I'm sure it is. Crystals travel. That's another thing we probably should talk about too. But I put this piece on and I started adding to it, as you can see. I have to take this necklace off for months at a time. Months at a time. Right now, I've been wearing it solid for about 3 weeks. I've also been sick for about 3 weeks. Last weekend I added this massive Herkimer diamond, but I still have to take this off every now and then because it just stops working. So if you're wearing Moldavite and you're finding that it isn't working anymore, take it off for a while. Take it off for a while. If it's overwhelming you and things are happening too fast, take it off for a while. Like, let things settle, put it back on. Let things settle, put it back on. See what I'm saying? I love that question. It's great. All right. I don't know how to describe it. This is Chris. But sometimes when I drive or as a passenger, I swear I'm seeing an animal cross the road, but nothing is there. It freaks me out, especially when I'm driving. Don't you love it when things don't want to pop up like they're supposed to? Because I'm worried I'm going to wreck. Let's chat about that. So this is actually a very common phenomenon with people that are very, very open spiritually and in tune with the universe around them. I almost said their path, but it's not really their path. It's just the universe around them. Now, there are multiple stories in multiple cultures about seeing animals in the road, especially black dogs. Now, depending on what culture you belong to or the stories that you've heard, this sometimes is not a good thing. So let's talk about the bad of it first. Let's just get that out of the way. Let's talk about the bad of it first. Seeing a black dog in the road usually is a bad omen. It usually is a bad omen. Pay attention. If you are seeing black dogs in the road, pay attention to where they are, what you were thinking about when you saw them. Like, literally, make some notes. I promise that voice record on your phone is your fucking friend. Okay? Make some notes because you want to pay attention to when this is happening. There are a lot of other bad things incorporated with seeing a black dog, especially in the road while you're driving, but we're not going to talk about them. We're going to talk about some other stuff. Seeing animals in general, depending on what animal it is, because they don't say in here if it's a dog, if it's a cat, if it's a cow, if it's an elephant. They don't say that in the question. Seeing animals in general, that's a totem animal. Okay? If you continually see crows, obviously that's a totem animal. Something is trying to get your attention, give you signs, etc. If you're seeing shadow animals, let's talk about that. Because a lot of us have been seeing shadows out of the corners of our eye for years, for decades, for all of our life, to the point that you think you're kind of a little bit, sort of, probably crazy. Now, the problem comes when you start seeing them in the middle of the road. And it can be a little bit scary, etc. If you're a passenger, it's not as big a deal, right? Because you're not controlling the car. Now, if you're driving and you're seeing them, I would say those are 100% omens, okay? I would love to know what animal you're actually seeing in the road, because that's a whole other ball of wax. That's a whole other aspect to things, and I would love to know what it is you're actually seeing in the road. All right, we ready for another one? I love this one, and I feel like this is something that everybody needs to hear. Are you ready? If you've not been very active with your practice, how can you reawaken or figure out if you have gifts? Okay, so let's talk about if you have not been active, because maybe you've just been, I don't know, tired, sick, lazy, fed up, overwhelmed, all of the things, the stuff that life does. So practice is an interesting journey. I want you to think of practice, your personal practice, like climbing a mountain. And we're not talking like super straight up mountain, like we're talking like a whatever, okay? You're going to have times where you are so motivated to learn stuff. Remember when you first started? This is like when you first go to climb a mountain. You're at the bottom and you're like, oh my God, I can do this. I'm going to climb this fucking mountain. And you're like super excited, right? And so with your practice, you're learning all the things. You're taking the classes. You're buying the books. You're doing the things. You have this amazing altar and so on, right? And then suddenly you just get overwhelmed and it's too much and you just keep piling on and adding stuff and you don't really know what to do. And you're just kind of like, I don't feel like doing that today. I know it's spring and I still have my winter altar up and I can't, it's too much. Welcome to being a practitioner. We all go through this, okay? So first of all, don't beat yourself up too hard. Seriously, don't beat yourself up too hard. The next thing I'm going to say is this. If you find that you are not doing your spiritual practice that you love to do, if you're not doing the things that you used to love to do on a daily basis, give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. Force yourself to not do anything spiritual for like 3 or 4 days, maybe a week. Force yourself, okay? When you catch yourself like, no ma'am, don't do it. Do not go longer than a week though, okay? Because it takes 2 weeks to make a habit. Do not go longer than a week. You want to give your brain, because pretty much all of us at this point have some kind of weird ADHD shit. Come on now. Especially if you're Gen X, most of us have never been diagnosed. You need to basically give your brain a challenge of, oh, nope, you can't do this, because how many of you guys hate being told no? And when someone tells you no, guess what? Well, now I'm really going to do it. Right? So, therefore, is a little bit of reverse psychology for your own brain. The next thing is when you start your practice back up, start with the foundational aspects. The things that you started doing when you got into it on purpose. That made no sense. Or maybe it did. Did you start by lighting incense in your house every day when you got up? Did you start by drinking a cup of herbal tea every day when you got up? Did you start by buying stones? Did you start by carrying tumbles with you? Did you start by buying books? What did you start with? What were your foundational aspects? Start with those again. Let's talk about just tumbles, okay? Say you used to love to go to crystal shops and buy a couple of tumbles, okay? Tumbles are just the little tiny ones that you carry in your pocket, the bra rocks that we all love. Maybe you went and you would always pick out new rocks for bra rocks. For those of you guys that don't know what bra rocks are, those are the ones that literally go in your fucking bra. And usually we lose when we take our bras off because we forget that they're in our bra, but that's a whole other thing, and I digress. If you loved to go pick out a couple of new tumbles at a shop, go do that. Go do that. So instead of going to Starbucks and buying another coffee, or instead of going out to eat at some fancy ass restaurant, maybe go eat at a little lower priced restaurant and go grab you a couple of tumbles. Tumbles they're not cheap. Tumbles are cheap for the most part. Some of them are getting a little more expensive because they're harder to find. But you're going to pay anywhere from $1 to $5 for a tumble. I guarantee you're going to find some you don't have. Or you're going to find some that just wink at you just right and they want to go home with you in your pocket. Easy. Get excited again. Get excited again. Look at the bottom of that mountain. Because what happens is you got on that shift. You got on that trip and shifted. You hit a plateau. Everybody hits a plateau when they're on their spiritual journey. It's going to happen repeatedly. Trust me. Trust me. And it's going to piss you off every time. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Get yourself excited again. Remember what it was like to look up at that big mountain and go, oh my God, I can't wait till I learn all the things. Even people that are experts hit plateaus and get bored and get drained and just fuck off for a little while. I do all the time. And I hate it. And I hate myself for it. And I know it's coming, but I still do it anyway. You're going to do it too. Getting yourself back on your spiritual horse is actually easier than people make it out to be. It does take willpower. Do you remember when you were so excited at first and you couldn't wait to do the things? You're going to have to force yourself to have that willpower again. But like I said, it takes 2 weeks to make a habit, right? Make yourself do something every day for 2 weeks. Even if it's just rearrange your stones. And if you're like, oh, I don't have time, I got to go to bed. You have 30 seconds to fucking move a stone. Just saying what I'm saying. Just saying what I'm saying. The other thing is this. It's super easy to get a book on Audible and listen to it while you sleep. Osmosis is a thing, and it is your friend. I promise. It's really, really easy for you to get back on your spiritual path. You just also have to have the willpower to do it. All right. This next question is all about one of my favorite fucking manifestation days of the year. You ready? Could you please talk more about the Lionsgate portal? Of course, Dr. Blue Moon, I can. Does it, or how does it connect to the shifting that's been happening lately? Once again, thank you for keeping me sane with your posts. Well, I appreciate that I can keep you sane. Maybe y'all can keep me sane too. But this is a double question, and even both questions are super loaded. So first of all, let's talk about what the Lionsgate portal is. I even pulled up a handy cheat sheet here. This year, 2024, is particularly important. Are you ready? Because here's why. It is 888. The Lionsgate portal actually lasts for 2 weeks. It starts toward the end of July and ends in mid-August, okay? This is a major manifestation point every single fucking year. This is where I just lost my place, but that's okay. So the Lionsgate portal is when Earth, the Sun in Leo, Sirius, the dog star, and Orion's belt all get into this glorious, amazing line. So you're talking about a star that was known in ancient Egypt for when the Nile became fertile again. You're talking about the Earth. You're talking about the Sun in Leo. You're talking about all of these amazing placements. And I'm going to let you guys do some research on that on your own and see how amazing this thing is. But the problem with it is that it is a major manifestation portal. And people don't realize this. Or they do realize it and they forget about it. I don't forget about it. It is the most major manifestation day of the year, 888. Now, this year in particular is 888. And I said that on a live earlier, and someone was like, how is it 888? August is 8. The 8th, 8. And then if you add 2024, 2 plus 2 plus 4 plus 0, that's 8. 888. This year in particular is so fucking massive. It is, if you waste it, I don't know if we can be friends. I don't know if we can be friends. I'm putting this podcast out before, a full week before, so you guys have plenty of time to get this portal, to get ready for it. One of my favorite things to do in the week leading up to the Lionsgate portal is to make a list. I'm a Capricorn. I love my fucking lists. But I need to visually see all of the things I'm wanting to manifest for the next year. And you need to be thinking year. Now, I'm not saying don't think short term, like maybe before Christmas or maybe this fall or in the next week, whatever. I'm not saying don't think short term, but you want to have things planned out of like, okay, here's my long-term goal. This is what I need to do to get to my long-term goal. Do you see what I'm saying? You need to make a list. This is also a manifestation board. You don't realize it. It may not be the full-on board, but if you have a list that you can see on a daily basis, that's going to keep you motivated. There's also a ton of different stones and amazing things that you can use for manifestation, for motivation, etc. Any kind of tektite is going to be great. Now, I would be kind of careful with Moldavite as far as manifesting with it, because that is all about change. If you're not ready for change, then maybe Moldavite isn't the one for you. But pyrite is a good one. Carnelian is a good one. Labradorite is a good one. Iolite is a good one. Blue apatite is a fantastic one. Red jasper is also a good one, especially if you are someone that's working on your personal strength, your personal empowerment. The other thing about the Lionsgate is this. It's a time when so many things are aligned just perfectly that have been aligned throughout time. So many ancient people knew about this, utilized this. It marked the beginning of an amazing season. There's so much history behind this. There's so many historical things, people you'll never ever know about, people you never even know existed, planned manifestation and goals on the Lionsgate portal. That is millennia of people utilizing this particular day to make their lives better. Being that this is also 888, I 100% would recommend leaving a fuck ton of water out in the portal. I personally leave mine out all day and all night. And this is something else that we probably should address really quick before we get to the second question. You're going to see people that say that you can only leave water out at night, only leave water out during the day, whatever. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever the fuck you want, okay? If you're making moon water and it accidentally touches the sun, it's not going to erase everything that the moon put in there. I leave mine out all night. I go get it when I get up. Quit stressing about it, okay? I was taught to leave it out there because sometimes the full moon peaks during the day, bitches. So if you're only putting it out a little bit at night and you're missing the peak, you're not getting the full amount of that full moon in there, are you? Think, McFly, think. I'm just saying what I'm saying. So with 888, y'all better be leaving some fucking stuff out. This is the time when you want to leave all kinds of things out. And let me give you a few hints, okay? You ready? Here's one of my favorite things to leave out in a Lionsgate portal. Perfume. I wear a specific perfume and I will buy a humongous bottle of it to leave out in the Lionsgate portal. I do this every fucking year. I will probably buy 2 for this year because this is 888. That way you are infusing the perfume, the cologne, the oil that you wear every day with manifestation. Quit thinking small. Quit just thinking about drinking water because you're going to pee most of it back out. Just saying. Didn't mean to be gross. And yeah, you're going to wash that cologne, that perfume, etc. off when you get in the shower. But anytime you're fixing to go into a meeting, to ask for promotion, you're going on a date, whatever, you're wearing manifestation on you. I swear to God, if y'all don't start putting all your stuff out, just saying. Anything at all that you use for transformation, for change, for divination. If you have some cards that you use, maybe for success readings, career readings, love readings, whatever for people, you better be putting those out. And fix my bangs a little bit. They are being assholes. Okay, So let's talk about the second part of this question. How does this connect to the shifting that's been happening lately? To be honest, I don't really know. And here's why I say that. We're gonna fall down the crazy hole here a little bit, because in 2021 I started speaking out about how the veil was just about gone, and I even went and searched and pulled up the video, and let me play you a little bit of it. Hey guys, as promised, here is the video with the recipe and what you need and how to go out, save a piece of the veil in the veil's code and protect it. I know, right? And I know that's me, but it doesn't look like me. But I know that's me. I use the next thing that I recommend is a Lemurian quartz. They come in literally all kinds of shapes and sizes. This one right here in particular will hold a massive amount of pieces of the veil in the veil code. This one would hold maybe a couple. I would say one or two, depending on the size. The more, trust your gut, trust your intuition. So here are the other things you're going to need. If you can't find a Lemurian quartz, you can't get one, or if you already have cracked quartz, that is the next best thing to use. So when I put that video out, I was talking about how the veil was almost gone, okay? And I had some people that were like, oh my God, you're fear-mongering and blah, 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 blah. No, I wasn't. I was trying to fucking help, bitches. But follow me down the rabbit hole. Follow me down the rabbit hole. I know that every single one of you guys heard about the Mayan calendar, how things were supposed to end in 2012 and blah, 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 blah. Well, there was a theory that came out that maybe it wasn't 2012, maybe it was 2021. And if you think about all of the things that happened in 2020, 2021, etc., I'm just saying what I'm saying. But whether it was 2012 or 2021, it doesn't really fucking matter. There was a lot of things that happened in 2012 and 2021 that line up with astrological aspects. The interesting thing about 2021, especially in December, is that if you guys remember, or maybe you don't remember, and you can go look this up, we had a comet fly by in December. The comet also had some weird separation with its tail that was visible to the naked eye or with binoculars. It was insane. We also had a massive solar eclipse, and take a look at this. It just happened to go right over Antarctica. And for those of you guys that are on conspiracy TikTok and you've seen all the shit about Antarctica and the things coming out of there, just saying what I'm saying. But there were so many weird things that happened, especially right before the end of the year in 2021. So in that video, I was talking about how the veil was basically going away. In other words, it was like if just little fingers of the veil is all that was left. Instead of it being like this, just little fingers here and there. And those fingers were slowly being pulled away. If the veil goes away, then what happens? Everything merges together. The Day of the Dead, the practices with that, they believe that there is a bridge on that particular day, that night, where ancestors can come back and forth. It's not just ancestors, it's anything on the other side has that bridge to come back and forth. So if you think about it, if the veil goes away, what happens? Everything comes back and forth, good and bad. So if the veil was just barely hanging on and slowly started to let go, would that not account for all of the shadow people that everybody's been seeing a lot of over the last few years? Would it not account for the bigger shadows that we're seeing out of the corners of our eye? Would it not account for everybody's spiritual abilities and gifts blowing up? Would it not account for all of the people that have mediumship skills and abilities suddenly be rampant? I'm just saying. You know it has. I know it has. I also see all the things about the Schumann, and we're going to talk about that for just a second too, and then we're going to finish this question up. But there's a lot of different things with the Schumann that pop up all the time. And I know you guys see people all over TikTok like, oh my God, we switched timelines again, blah, blah, blah. And everybody tags me in them, and they're kind of making fun of these people a little bit. But y'all, they're right. They're right. They're 100% right. I don't for one moment believe that the Schumann resonance, the measurement of it, is only to look at the electricity in the Earth's atmosphere, to look at the Earth's heartbeat. It is, I believe that it is 100% looking at that thing, but some of the crazy intense stuff that happens doesn't really have an explanation. Yeah, we have a ton of solar flares. The Schumann fucks up a little bit, but sometimes the stuff that happens is intense and insane. If the veil is going away, and I'm a firm believer in the fact that there's probably very few, like less than a dozen little bitty tendrils of the veil hanging on here and there, would it not account for all of the intense, crazy changes, glitches in the matrix, gifts popping up, people seeing all kinds of stuff, and intense paranormal activity lately? I'm just saying what I'm saying. I know that that's something for y'all to really, really think about now, but I hope that you do go kind of research a little bit on the history of the Lionsgate portal, what it is, and I hope that also prompted you to go look at some of the happenings, especially in December of 2021, the fall of 2021, and think about all of the things just in your life in particular that have changed and shifted and so on. Because there's a lot of different things that they're night and day different. Think about how much the Mandela effects have popped up, how crazy and rampant those things have gotten. Think about that. Because the Mandela effects have been utterly fucking insane. I can't with some of them. Like, I don't know how many more times Richard Simmons can die. Like, seriously, stop fucking with my childhood. Like, I just can't do it anymore. All right, I'm going to answer one more question on this episode, and it's a good one that I know every single one of you guys want to know about. Are you ready? I have a spirit magnet. So every time I think of someone, they show up. How the fuck do I turn it off? Well, it says TF. How the TF do I turn it off? Well, the short answer is that you kind of can't. But before you go wearing the aluminum helmets, you can soften it. Okay? You also can control it. Now, here's what I recommend. First of all, dude, that's a cool fucking gift. Play with it. Play with it. The people that you actually want to hear from, maybe that long lost childhood friend from when you were 8 and y'all both moved away from each other. Think about that person. Get that person to contact you. Do you see what I'm saying? Think about people that you actually want to contact. And anytime someone else pops in your head, you need something physical that causes your brain to go, oh, never mind. Okay? Now, here is what I mean. One of the easiest things that you can do is just kind of dig your fingernails in your hand really quick, like that. Mine are blunt as shit now that they're really long. So doing that doesn't really hurt, but it's just enough that my brain goes, oh, fuck, what was I doing? It's almost like, when you jolt yourself awake after you've been like doing the sleepy head bob, you jolt yourself awake. If you catch yourself thinking about someone you don't want to think about, you have to have something that immediately makes your brain stop and turn somewhere else. Okay? But those are two different things you have to kind of hone with this gift. First, let's talk about the fun part. Playing with it. Play with it. Play with it. Play with it. Play with it. Because it's just like any other talent. You don't use it, you lose it. Well, in this case, you don't really use it. Lose it, use it, lose it. You know what I'm saying? You don't really lose it, but it is going to just do willy-nilly whatever it wants to do. So the more you play with it and the more you hone it on being able to like sit and focus. Hey, I want to talk to Shelly. I haven't seen Shelly in 2 years. I missed that bitch. We used to have so much fun. Shelly. Did you see what I'm saying? Focus on bringing the people to you that you actually want to talk to. When you start to see that by you focusing on that, they start to come and they start to call you, message you, whatever, and you're getting in touch with long lost friends that maybe they really need you in their life too, it's going to give you more confidence in your abilities. Not only is it going to give you more confidence in your abilities, but confidence, period, because you're a badass motherfucker. But the other part is this. When you start honing your gift to who you want to talk to, when the people pop in your head that you don't want to talk to, you're going to instantly be like, no, ma'am. No, sir. Fuck all the way off. So at first, you're going to have to make yourself have something physical. Dig your hand in your nails in your hand or whatever. So your brain stops its train of thought and shifts. Okay? There's a lot of times when I'll start thinking about somebody. Sometimes I can make that happen. I haven't played with my personal gift like that in a while, but I do have this weird fucking thing where I know that if I start thinking about somebody, chances are I need to reach out to them and so on. And I mean, there are some people that I just don't want to reach out to. You know what I mean? Like if it's somebody I love, it's somebody I care about, or we're just barely friends or whatever, and you keep popping in my head, I'm going to reach out and be like, bitch, why are you in my fucking head? But other times, however, nah. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to see you. We said goodbye. I don't need you in my head at all. So there are times that when I'm by myself, I will physically be like, stop. Stop. I will say out loud, stop it. Now, y'all will probably see me do this a lot. That is my signal. I'm done. Washing my hands of it. Okay? You need a signal like that for yourself. I almost poked myself with the fucking eye. That would have been great. Y'all need a signal for yourself that makes your brain reroute from where it was going. Okay? So first of all, play with it, hone it, contact the peoples that you want to talk to, and have something that completely breaks your concentration when that other motherfucker pops in there. Yeah. Well, that is all the questions I'm going to answer on this episode of the Bodhiverse. I still have a ton. Are there questions you would like me to answer? Are there things that you want to know about? You can either send them to my website, thebluebodhi.com. Just click on the little contact there. Put in all your information there, and maybe I'll answer your question on my next episode. Or there is a video right here on my YouTube, my TikTok, all of the things. You can ask your question there, and I'll pick some of my favorites. That's what this is from. Ask a Bodhi. Right there. What can I answer for you on my next episode of the Bodhiverse?